Collin Sexton has the Cavs last 17 points, looking for 20. Oh my! 42 points for Collin Sexton. Pressured by Harris, goes to work again. This time it's Prince for three. Got it! In double overtime. Your final in a beautiful.
So last night we were pleasured into having the Brooklyn Nets Big Three have their debut together as collectively a team. And it was very exciting for everyone. And for the games that led up to this, the Brooklyn Nets were 2-0 with the Bandits of Kevin Durant and James Harden, the former teammates on the Oklahoma City Thunder. James Harden killed it in his Brooklyn Nets debut, putting up 32 points, 14 assists, and 12 rebounds. And in the second game, KD hit a game-winning shot to give the Nets the win versus the Milwaukee Bucks. But everything about the game, their third game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, everything went wrong. And it was because of one stone cold assassin, and his name is Collin Sexton. Harden talked about chemistry issues with the Brooklyn Nets and how that it would just play out over the season and how there wouldn't be any chemistry issues and they would just figure it out. But that has not been evident in the first game that they played together, especially with Kyrie Irving, because I feel like Harden and Durant are a good duo, but I don't think that Harden and Irving and Durant are a good three-man show. I mean, along with the other two starting players that started last night versus the Cavs were Jeff Green and DeAndre Jordan. And I mean, it's not like they're bad players, but I feel like the Brooklyn Nets really only have three superstars and that's it. I mean, DeAndre Jordan and Jeff Green are not bad by any means, but it's kind of like where they are just okay. Also, Kyrie Irving, after taking his break, he feels great. Steve Nash, coach of the Brooklyn Nets, put it this way: he just needed a break and now he is back. And I think Kyrie really just needed a break. Playing in the NBA is a really, really hard job. Like, I don't think fans really know how hard it actually is to play in the NBA. And Kyrie Irving can tell you that from experience. Seriously, it is really hard to play in the NBA. 99.9% of us could only dream of doing that. So I do understand where Kyrie Irving is coming from. And now that he's back, he looks scary. But as a team collectively, do they really look scary? Because on paper, this team looks like they're definitely going to win a championship. But with the bad locker room leadership of Kyrie Irving, I don't think so. Also, I talked about in a previous video about the James Harden trade reaction, how they shouldn't have traded away Jarrett Allen. Big shout out to him. They actually played him last night versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he was a solid contributor. But I think the X factor of the game was really Kyrie Irving, because With Irving off the court, the Brooklyn Nets won 2 games against 2 of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, respectively, the Orlando Magic and Milwaukee Bucks. But with Irving on the court, they got beat by an average Eastern Conference team, which really just shows Kyrie Irving might be the problem with this Brooklyn Nets team. They also have another few knockdown shooters like Joe Harris, and he's a very important piece. And honestly, sometimes in the playoffs, I could see him being the X factor to the Brooklyn Nets' success. And then you have Spencer Dinwiddie, who I was really high on this year and thought he could win Sixth Man of the Year. But Spencer had a career-ending injury. Well, not career-ending, but it's season-ending. And for some players, it has been career-ending. So, like I said, KD had a game-winning shot versus the Milwaukee Bucks a few nights ago, and that was so fun to watch. Harden got a rebound and passed it out to KD, and KD hit a 3 with 30 seconds left. And then you move on to the Cleveland Cavaliers game, where nothing really went right for Brooklyn. Sure, Kyrie was doing his thing. James Harden was doing his thing, bringing the ball up the court like he usually does. They ran some pick and rolls with their bigs, yet it didn't work. Even when they tried super hard, nothing worked. And this resulted in the Brooklyn Nets going to a double overtime catastrophe game with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And like I said, they couldn't really get anything going in overtime and second overtime as Collin Sexton took over and scored 20 straight points for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, Collin Sexton did it again. Sexton finished the game with 42 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds in 38 minutes of action. And that really shows just how underrated Collin really is, and he doesn't get a lot of minutes as the star. But anyway, the Brooklyn Nets had some other players like Lou Calo Barbarone, but it just didn't work out for this Brooklyn Nets team to get anything going. Sure, the big three combined for 90 points, but you don't really have any other players who can contribute to that. I mean, DeAndre Jordan had a decent game, but it was really just KD running the show with his other bandits of Kyrie Irving and James Harden. If you enjoyed the content, click subscribe, turn notifications on, like, share, comment, all the good stuff. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.